Hey, Catalina Foothills Church, happy Tuesday morning. This is Rob Penley, and it's my privilege to preach this coming Sunday as CFC begins a look at the book of Philippians. Philippians is, in my Bible, a 3-page letter written by the Apostle Paul to a group of Christians who had formed a church in the city of Philippi. Now you're going to find out Philippians is an amazingly wonderful book with all kind of riches in it, but I'm going to give you a bit of an overview here. First, reason Philippians is great. It is Christ-centered. It literally drips with Jesus. The Apostle Paul is writing to a group of mature, faithful Christians. And what does Paul think they need? They need the gospel. They need Jesus and to be grounded in the gospel. We do too. We need Jesus. We need the gospel. Another reason is that Philippians is filled with expressions of love. You're going to be surprised and amazed as you read at how the Apostle Paul is regularly saying to them, I see Jesus at work in you. And it's exhibited by these things. And I think we're going to learn as we go through that that's part of what it means for us to live together in community, is that we point out, hey, I see Jesus at work in you. And it's a beautiful thing. Third, Philippians is a model of and a call to joy in the midst of difficult times. So the Philippians were going through trials, and also the author, the Apostle Paul, was writing this letter from prison. So here is Paul, who's in the midst of a trial, finding joy, writing to people who are in the midst of a trial, finding joy. And then by extension, the Lord is speaking to us in our time of trial and saying, here's how you find great joy. And then finally, Philippians is a call for gospel-centered unity. Permit me to read a few sentences. Repeatedly, Paul grounds us in Christ's work on the cross. Repeatedly, to assure us not only of our own salvation, but to give us a pattern to follow of humility and service to one another. We are united to Christ and therefore united to one another. It's the cross which has accomplished this unity. It's not sentimental. It is grounded in Jesus and his work on the cross. And so Philippians is a call for robust, Christ-purchased, gospel-centered unity. Now, as I was reading through just this morning some of Philippians, let me show you some of the places that I highlighted. For me to live is Christ, and to die is gain. I'm going to remain and continue with you all for your progress and joy in the faith. It's been granted to you that for the sake of Christ, you should not only believe in him, but also suffer for his sake. God has highly exalted him and bestowed on him the name that is above every name. Whatever gain I had, I counted as loss for the sake of Christ. And then the way he ends it, my God will supply every need of yours according to his riches in glory in Christ Jesus. It's exciting to launch into this book. And I also want to remind you that we're having a congregational meeting Sunday in between the two services. At 10:15 a.m., we'll have a congregational meeting in the sanctuary, and it's for the express purpose of granting John Stone his request that his relationship with Catalina Foothills Church be dissolved. And so we will be voting to grant John his request and dissolve that pastoral relationship. So it will be a sober but quick meeting as we do the life of the church family together. So as you prepare for that and for the book of Philippians, let me just encourage you to continue to call out to God for blessings upon CFC, on the leadership here, and that the session of elders would experience the joy that Philippians is talking about and the gospel-centered unity as we lead this church into the future. We're not sure what God has, but we know it's good, and we know that as we look to him, as we live as followers of Christ in the power of the Spirit, we're going to be fine. God bless you. Have a good day.